talking to Cheikh, you know, but I've been thinking about for many years, ever since we have this manual. And the manual on the third level, you see, you know, upon completion of the second level, the Fatiha may ask questions and indulge in discussion with the Astamari on points that may need to be clarified, you know. Then, you know, of course, on third level, you know, initiates, they have to master the prayer, the method, why we pray, what is prayer, what prayer is, proper use of prayer, teaching the initiate into Fahami, the Sonic is, in the English translation, the prayer of the gods, our saints, and all prayers must be learned by heart, you know, and study of the gods and goddesses. Then on second, it says the law, part 1 to 7. So I've been thinking about what is this law and what is it from part 1 to 7, you know. So for many years I've been meditating on it, and as I was talking to you know, Cheikh and we were, you know, talking, you know, he said, let me share this something with you, and he shared this law. So I'm sharing that on behalf of Cheikh and at the same time, this lesson was given on November 16, 2014 by Imam Barak. But at that time we didn't have no video camera, we did not, but he did give this lecture, and I found out later on that it was Imam Barak that gave this lesson to Cheikh when he gave in 2014, almost 7 years ago. And I guess it just went by me because I was not ready at that time to really comprehend what the lesson is. So I'm going to bring back that lesson that was given by Imam Barak in 2014, November 16, 2014. And of course, he was given this lesson by High Priest Pitara before he made his transition, right? So, I'm just going to share that with you, right? The 7 universal laws of the universe, Fahami, Tatra, Bangami. So, the law, the lesson for today is called the law, part 1 to 7. Great is the law which bestow life on those who keep it here and hereafter. The law is life unto those who finds them and health to all their flesh. Length of days in her right hand, righteous thoughts and riches and honor in her left, doing good deeds. The law will give to you an ornament of grace unto your head. A crown of glory shall she deliver to you. Only by keeping the law of the universe, or Fahami. For Fahami is the law of the universe.
Yeah.
So, going back to this lesson, chapter 26 on the extended gospel, how to have health, prosperity, and happiness. In there, our Rasul, our Fani Rasul inform us that prosperity is the result of attraction. Our lesson in Fahami development relates to life, immediate problems, as well as the future needs of the student. This college, that's what we are. This university, this college, Fahami College, we help the student to master any problem he might have. They help the members, us, to master the obstacles and overcome conditions from the very start. Laws and principles that man and woman must use here and now and not hereafter. Okay? Now, this is the most important, before I go to the lesson, listen to this. The Holy Fahami is telling us, there never was and never will be a more systematic, more detailed and complete cause of personal development. So the revelation he brought us is there's none other in the planet except with the Holy Family. He brought it the complete lesson. The complete lesson. And he told us there never was and never will be a more systematic, a more detailed and complete cause of personal development. Okay? Then he tells us mastering the law of attraction is the first step in securing human welfare. The first thing we have to master is the law of attraction. So what is this law of attraction? The law of attraction is this. The law of attraction is spiritual or psychical in its operation. The law of attraction is this. Quote, throughout the universe, like objects attract like objects, long and short. The correct utilization of this law requires the conscious projection of creative and constructive thoughts into the universal mind, so that those thoughts, which are objects, then according with the law, combine with like thoughts that are already existent in the universal mind, and then return to the mind which they were projected in the physical plane. You consciously, we send a thought to the universal mind, and the thought we send will attract similar thoughts in the universal mind and will bring back to us with more detail, more insight to what we say. Okay? So that is the law of attraction. The Holy Family, Rasul, peace be upon him, he is sharing that law. Okay? Upon the return of the projected thought into the universal mind to the mind of the projector, a more complete and detailed thought is presented. So that thought we say will come back to you with more information for you, more insight for you to whatever question you ask is going to bring back. Okay, so why? Because like thought attracts like thoughts. Okay? This is so because a thing must exist in the spiritual world before it can have existence in the physical world. When we think a thought, it's already existing in the spiritual plane, but we must work hard to bring it down and manifest it on the physical plane, in the physical world. Our ancestor, so this is so because a thing must exist in the spiritual world before it can have existence in the physical world. Our ancestors phrased this condition thus: as above, so below. As above, so below. So let us begin to create above a new reality for ourselves, a new heaven and earth, in order it can manifest here below. So we must start in the spiritual plane, then we bring it down into the physical. So keep this law in mind. Alright, the law of attraction. That's what our Rasul is telling us. Mastering the law of attraction is the first step in securing human welfare. Right? Then he will tell us, you must learn to make yourself magnets of attraction. That's another lesson we're going to go. How do you make yourself a magnet of attraction? So, with that, we're going to go to the 7 laws as prescribed in our manual. Now, and the revelation I'm going to share with you. Here are 7 universal laws or principles by which everything in the universe is governed. Everything in the universe is governed by these 7 laws. The universe exists in perfect harmony by virtue of these laws. Ancient, mystical, esoteric, secret teachings date back over 10,000 years from ancient Egypt or Keon to ancient Greece. We pass this knowledge to the Greeks, then to the Vedic tradition of ancient India. They all learned it from us and we share it with others. All have their common trait, these 7 spiritual laws now. These are spiritual laws of the universe. Once you understand, apply, and align yourself with these universal laws, you will experience transformation in every area of your life beyond that which you have been dared to imagine. Okay? Now, the first 2 definitions we have to keep in mind. The first one is called mutable. Mutable, which is liable, means liable to change, changeable, variable, shifting, inconsistent, fickle, and uneven. The definition of it. The second one is immutable, which is unchanging over time, fixed, set, rigid, permanent, carved in stone. Keep those 2 definitions in mind, right? So the immutable and the mutable. Again, this is the one of the revelation of our Holy Father Rasul. He says, of the 7 universal laws, out of the 7, the first 3 are immutable, eternal laws, meaning they are absolute and can never be changed or transcended. They have always existed and will always exist. The other 4 are transitory, mutable laws, meaning they can be transcended or at least, quote, better used to create your ideal reality. This is not to say that you should ignore these 4 laws or attempt to defy them, for even if you do, they will still govern your existence. Your aim is to master each of the 7 universal laws and only then learn to transcend the immutable ones. So out of the 7, 3 are unchanging, eternal, and 4 are changing. Right? The first one, the law of mentalism, which is immutable. Okay? The first of the 7 universal laws tell us that, quote, the all is mind, the universe is mental, end of quote. That everything we see and experience in our physical world has its origin in the invisible mental realm. It tells us that there is a single universal consciousness, the universal mind, from which all things manifest. All energy and matter at all levels is created by and is subordinate to the omnipresent universal mind. Your mind is part of the universal mind, the same in kind, with the only difference being one of degree. So your reality is a manifestation of your mind, and this is true mind power. This is true mind power. So here The first law, which is the internal, unchanging, is the universe is mind. Okay? Or the universe is mental. Everything starts in our thinking. So the universal mind, this is a single intelligent consciousness that pervades the entire universe. The universal mind. It is all-knowing, all-powerful, all-creative, and always present, and the conscious and the subconscious are perfect. It is present everywhere at the same time. It follows that it must also be present in you, that it is you. Right? Your mind is part of the one universal mind. This is not simply a philosophical ideal passed down to us through the ages. It is an exact scientific truth. Know it, believe it, apply it, and you will see your life transformed in a miraculous way. Amun Ra. Okay? So this is telling us that our mind and the universal mind are one. Believe it, he said, know it, believe it, apply it, and you will see your life transformed in a miraculous way. Alright? So what is this mind power, he says? Mind power is everything you perceive in the outside world has its origin in the inner world of your thoughts. To consciously create your reality, you must learn to control the nature of your dominant habitual thoughts. This is mind power. So he's telling us to watch out that the thoughts we entertain, those habitual thoughts that come again and again, day in, day out, whether they are negative, we keep entertaining, and that's how we are subconsciously creating our reality based on those habitual thoughts, dominant habitual thoughts. Just comes again and again and again. An average man thinks 70,000 thoughts, you know. But it just, the majority of them are the same thought you had yesterday, the day before yesterday. You just keep on repeating the same thought again and again, and those are the ones we have to look out for, okay? So that was the first one. The first law, which is the law of mentalism, which is it is immutable, internal law. The second law is the law of correspondence, which is immutable. We know about this law; they are the hermetic laws. But the Holy Family is the one that's telling you which one are immutable and which one are immutable. That is the biggest revelation He gave you. 3 are internal, and 4 we can transcend. The other 3 you can transcend. That's the way the universe is. You just have to accept it and just use it for your own benefit. That is the great revelation I'm sharing with you. When he divided out of the 7 hermetic laws, he said the first 3 are unchanging, immutable, and the other 4 are mutable, which is part of that complete, detailed, systematic, personal development he gave for us, he left for us. The law of correspondence, which is immutable. The second of the 7 universal law tells us, as above, so below. As below, so above. So keep the law of attraction in this way. We have to think it a little different than what we are taught. Okay, so as above, so below, as below, so above. This means that there is harmony, agreement, and correspondence between the physical, mental, and spiritual realms. There is no separation, since everything in the universe, including you, originates from the one source. The same pattern is expressed on all planes of existence, from the smallest electron to the largest star, and vice versa. All is one. The ancients were referring to this great law of correspondence when they stated, quote, "Know thyself, and thou shalt know all the mysteries of the gods and the universe."
Namdu.
Namdu. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So The second law, which is the law of correspondence, is one of those three immutable, unchanging internal laws. We just have to accept, right? The third one is the law of vibration, which is immutable, unchanging. That's the internal laws. You can't transcend by law. It just is. The universe, them three are internal. You just have to live with them and accept them and use them for our own benefit, right? The third of the 7 universal laws tells us that nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. Okay? The third and last of the immutable universal laws tells us that the whole universe is but a vibration. Science has confirmed that everything in the universe, including you, is pure energy vibrating at different frequencies. Okay? And there's a lot of good YouTube videos that will show us about vibrating, how vibration creates, and everything vibrates, alright? So, now listen to this. The axiom that like energy attracts like energy, upon which the law of attraction is based, has its foundation in this law. So the law of attraction, I was even talking to this, is how the Europeans, they always talk about the law of attraction. They came up with this movie 10 years ago, was called The Secret, billion-dollar books, The Secret, the law of attraction. Oh my God, you attract every, it was a big 2006 when that movie came out, documentary called The Secret, the law of attraction, alright? But we have a different understanding of it thanks to our Fahami Rasul, upon which the law of attraction is based. So, like energy attracts like energy, upon which the law of attraction is based, has its foundation in this law. Everything we experience with our 5 physical senses is conveyed through vibrations. Everything we see with our 5 senses, you get it through a vibration. The same applies to the mental realm. Your thoughts are vibrations. Your emotions are vibrations. Okay? All your emotions are vibrations where unconditional love, we hit that part, unconditional love, in the sense of love for another, is the highest and most subtle of the emotional vibrations, and hate. Hate is the gaseous and most base vibration, emotional vibrations. Then he said to us, we can learn to control our mental vibrations at will. And he says this is true thought power. Thought power. That means we are becoming powerful in our thought when we can control our emotions, the vibrations of our emotions. Okay? Now, law of attraction. In accordance with the law of attraction, you attract into your life those things, circumstances, and conditions that correspond with the nature of your dominant habitual thoughts and beliefs, both conscious and subconscious. Every area of your life, including your health, your finances, all of your relationships are influenced by this great universal law that like attract like. Law of attraction is the basic law of the universe. Okay? And the lesson asks us, what frequency are you on? What frequency are you on? Everything, including yourself, your thoughts, and anything else you may or may not want to experience, is pure energy vibrating at different frequencies. The basic premise of the law of attraction is that like energy attracts like energy. You attract to yourself that which you are in vibrational harmony with, not that which you long for or even deserve. you're going to attract based on the frequency you are on. Not what you wish for, not what you want to have, you know. That's why you say, not that which you long for or even desire. Your dominant frequency is determined by your dominant mental attitude, which itself is determined by your habitual thoughts and beliefs. Simply put, a positive mental attitude attracts positive experiences and circumstances, while a negative mental attitude attracts those conditions that we deem negative or unwanted. And I bear witness to the point. The thing I went to, I take full responsibility. That thing that with the carjacking, whatever I went to, I have to blame myself, because that experience I experienced is the result of my thought. And I was even talking to Imam Barak about it after going to this lesson and talking to him. Yes, because 10 years ago when I had the gas station, every day I think about being me, somebody's going to rob me, somebody's going to, you know, every day those 5 years I run that gas station, all I think about is, am I going to be robbed today? So I'm always cautious. I'm always thinking about today, I gotta watch out the door, I gotta lock the door, I gotta take the money when I go to the bank. I'm always thinking about getting robbed, and maybe it manifested after 10 years. And they came with a gun and they robbed me. So sometimes those thoughts we say with emotion of many repeatedly, like again and again, they will manifest. So that lesson I got from it is, I have to be more careful of the dominant thoughts. That was my dominant thought daily, is I don't want to get robbed. And always I have to look for. So I'm thinking, I take responsibility for creating this reality. But I'm still studying it, and just keep that in mind, right? Sometimes the things we attract into our life is, it might take 5 years or 7 years, and you completely forgot about it, but the universe didn't forget about it. It's still coming. So we have to be careful and cautious of the kind of thoughts we entertain, those habitual daily thoughts. And truthfully, for those 5 years, my daily thought was, I don't want to get robbed. I'm always, every day, that's why my greatest fear is, somebody's going to rob me today. And it could be. So I am learning, I have that thought, I want to say, oh yeah, those 17-year-olds, yeah man, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, maybe now after studying this lesson, maybe it could be me too. Did I attract this experience into my life subconsciously, Or so something to think about. Something to think about, my brother. Alright? So it says, the lesson gone says you can attract anything you need. There's another lesson, to think about. You can attract anything you need. To consciously attract anything you want to experience into your life, you must need it. You must need what you want to attract. You must need it. Not simply desire that which you want. You must need it. To need something is to have a purpose for it. To have a purpose for it. And when something has a big enough purpose, it becomes a necessity rather than a luxury. Okay? To think about it. Do I need this thing I want to manifest? And what's the purpose of your thing? Like, does it have a purpose? Then you can send that to the universe and consciously try to attract it if it has a need for it, a purpose for it, right? You are able to attract anything you need to yourself because you are already connected to everything, seen and unseen. Nothing and no one is separate from you. The sense of separation we experience in the physical world is created by the way our five senses interpret this infinite sea of vibrating energy. Infinite. He said infinite vibrating sea of energy. We are bombarded with that. We are in that vibration. This is vibrating everything. We are living in that sea of vibration, all right? You are one with the one universal mind from which all things become manifest. The creative power of your thoughts is limitless within the realm of that which is possible. So now we have covered the three immutable laws. The law of vibration, the law of correspondence, and the law of mentalism. Those are internal laws. Now we're going to go to the four mutable laws. That means we can transcend, you can use it, you can shape it, you can work with it. Alright? And the fourth one is the law of polarity, which is mutable. The fourth of the seven universal laws tells us that everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has a pair of opposites. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. It is also the first of the mutable or transcendable universal laws. It means that there are two sides to everything. Things that appear as opposites are in fact only two extremes of the same thing. For instance, heat and cold may appear to be opposites at first glance, but in truth, they are simply varying degrees of the same thing. The same applies to love and hate, peace and war, positive and negative, good and evil, yes and no, light and darkness, energy and matter. You can transform your thoughts from hate to love, from fear to courage by consciously raising your vibrations. That is the secret he told us, right? By consciously raising our vibration, we can transcend that law, that opposites, the law of polarity. This is what in ancient Hermetic teachings is called the art of polarization. How do we raise above the law of polarity? Rising above the law of polarity. So our Rasul tells us this principle of duality may appear to be very real in your life, but it operates only in the physical and mental realms, not in the spiritual realm where all is one. As it says in the Bhagavad Gita, and I quote, God is above the opposites, end of quote. By always placing the all-powerful, all-knowing Great Spirit of which you are a part behind your every thought, statement, and action, and by always focusing on the good, quote unquote, good, even when things appear to be going bad, quote unquote, then in time you will rise above the law of polarity. Okay? So we have to focus. First we have to know that you are part of those three internal laws. And you are one with the law of mentalism, you are one with the law of vibration, and the law of correspondence. Once you know that, by always placing the all-powerful, all-knowing Great Spirit, the Lahira, of which you are a part behind your every thought, statement, and action, and by always focusing on the good. See the good side of the things. Don't just dwell on the bad. Good of whatever bad situation you are under. See the good out of it, alright? By focusing on the quote-unquote good, even when things are going bad, then in time you will rise above the law of polarity. You can transcend that law. That law you can transcend. You can always be in that good vibration, and you can transcend that good, bad, like positive, negative attitude, okay? Number 5, the law of rhythm. The law of rhythm, which is Newton. The 5th of the 7 universal laws tells us that everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swings. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. Okay? I'll do what? The explanation is here. It is the second of the mutable or the transcendable universal laws and means that the pendulum swings in everything. This principle can be seen in the operation in the waves of the ocean, in the rise and fall of the greatest empires, in business cycle. You get money, and next month you are broke. Alright? In business cycle, in the swaying of your thoughts from being positive to negative, even your rhythm, the rhythm of your thought. For certain period of time you have this positive thought, next time you entertain this positive thought. It's just the rhythm, alright? Your thoughts from being positive to negative, and you aim in your personal successes and failure. 1 year you making good, the next year you are business not going as you want. So that those swing of the pendulum, alright? That is the law of the universe. You must know about it and prepare. So when you're making money, oh man, don't believe it's going to stay like that for the next. Always think, there might be a time that business might not be. So save your money for those times too, for the pendulum or the swings, and there might be a time that pendulum might swing back on you, and you might lose all your business, and it happens. It happens. In your personal successes and failures, the law of rhythm. Okay. In accordance with this law, when anything reaches a point of culmination, then the backward swing begins almost unnoticeably until such time that any forward movement has been totally reversed. Without you even knowing, you are going backward. That law is taking you backward. That forward movement is going to go all up. And once it gets to the highest level, then it starts to come down and down and down and down and down and down. Alright? Unnoticeably, if you're not aware of the slope, you'll be like, what's happening to me? What's going on? And you are hitting that bottom. Okay? In accordance with this law, when anything reaches a point of culmination, then the backward swing begins almost unnoticeably until such time that any forward movement has been totally reversed. Then the forward movement begins again, and the process is repeated. Then you fall down. Then when that time comes, then start to rise up again. The business is going to pick up. Things are going well. You are healthy. You're feeling good. Boom, and it's going to go down again. That is the law of rhythm. That is universal law. All right. How do we rise above the slope? Rising above the law of rhythm. To transcend the swing of the pendulum, you must become aware of the subtle start of the backward movement in any of your endeavors, whether it be to improve your health, your finances, your relationships, or any goal you may set in motion. So you must be aware of the subtle start of the backward movement. My own personal, experience, I was good. I invested some money in the stock market, and I thought I was making more money, and all of a sudden, boom. So if you are, and I was told, I did not pick up on it. I had my intuition, and I was like, watch out for the states. And lo and behold, on those days, I did not follow the intuition. That start to go down, and I did not get the message, and you lose backward movement, you know. So he said, you must become aware of the subtle start of the backward movement in any of your endeavors, whether it be to improve your health, your finances, your relationships, or any goal you may set in motion. When you feel the law start to draw you back, when you feel that things, whatever you're doing, it's not going. The thing it used to go for you, it's not going this time. So keep it up. Maybe a certain time, the pendulum is about to swing the reverse side. So if you are aware, you can prepare yourself for it now. Alright? When you feel the law start to draw you back, do not become fearful or discouraged. Instead, knowing that you are one with the omnipotent universal mind for which nothing is impossible, keep your thoughts focused on your outcome and fight to remain positive no matter how far back this how far back this transitory law pulls you. Do not be fearful. Don't be afraid. Why is this happening to me? Oh my God, what's going on with me? How come my business is not going as it used to? Don't be fearful. Second, don't be discouraged. Man, what am I doing? What's going on? And you'll be discouraged. Instead, he said, knowing that you are one with the omnipotent universal mind, for which nothing is impossible, keep your thoughts focused on your outcome and fight to remain positive no matter how far back this transitory law pulls you. So it says, even if your efforts meet with failure, find comfort that by the virtue of this very same law, the upward motion must start again. In time, your perseverance will be rewarded as the backward movements become less negative relative to your previous backward swings, and you rise yourself higher. So maybe this year the cycle might not be as long as it was maybe 2 years ago. This time you're aware of it, you're conscious of it, you're not going to freak out, you're just going to ride that backward movement smoothly and wait for your turn for that low to move back again, and you ride that wave to go up again. Right? Yeah. Okay? So that's how we raise above the law of rhythm. And that's why I say fight to remain positive. Because if you entertain negative thought, then that will even attract more negative thought, and you want to be even in your downward more painful. Alright? So fight to keep your thought positive and on your outcome. I will be healthy. I will do this. I am healthy. Keep affirming. Even though things are going, just keep affirming the positive outcome. Fine? Alright? 6. The law of cause and effect. This is also neutral. The law of cause and effect is a neutral. The 6th of the 7 universal laws tells us that every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. In accordance with this law, every effect you see in your outside or physical world has a very specific cause which has its origin in your inner or mental world. Maybe you set that thing in motion 10 years ago and you forgot about it. And now, boom, why does it happen to me? What happened? Maybe you did it 15 years ago, and now you are reaping what you saw back in the days, you know? But it has its origin in your inner or mental world, and it's underlined. So we can, in bold and underline, so we can keep that This is the essence of thought power. Every one of your thoughts, words, and actions set a specific effect in motion which will come to materialize over time. To become the master of your destiny, you must master your mind, for everything in your reality is a mental creation. Know that there is nothing like chance or luck. They are simply terms used by humanity in ignorance of this law. So man, you know, what a luck, man, I was unlucky. No. Or it's just by chance, just an accident. No, there are no accidents. This happens, maybe you did it 7 years ago and you forgot about that thought and it's manifesting. Was it for good or for not good? Alright? Whatever experience we go through. Okay? Then it tells us your intentions are instantly created. The law of cause and effect applies on all three planes of existence: the spiritual, the mental, and the physical. The difference is that on the spiritual plane, cause and effect are instantaneous, instant, such that they appear inseparable, whereas on the other planes, our concept of time and space creates a time lag between the cause and the eventual effect. Know that when you focus on your chosen goals with intention, using creative visualization, that which you want to create in the physical world is automatically manifested in the spiritual world. And with perseverance, practice, and continued concentrated thought, it will also come to materialize in the physical world. So, whatever you are thinking you want to manifest, it's already there. It's already manifest in the spiritual plane. It's already there. Now what's expecting of us is to be consistently, to bring it into the earthly plane. Okay? Through what? Practice, continued concentration, concentrated thought. And our high Cheikh always teaching us how to concentrate. We need that so we can bring our own reality into our heaven on earth. Okay? And the last one is the law of gender, which is mutable again, transcendable and transcendent. The last of the 7 universal laws tells us that, quote, gender is everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles, end of quote. This mutable universal law is evident throughout creation in the so-called opposite sex, found not only in human beings, but also in plants, minerals, electrons, magnetic poles, to name but a few. Everything has feminine and masculine energy. Like there are female flowers, male flowers. Everything and everyone contains both masculine and feminine elements. Among the outward expressions of the feminine qualities are love, patience, intuition, gentleness, and of the masculine qualities are energy, self-reliance, logic, and intellect. Yes. Know that within every woman lay all the latent qualities of a man, and within every man those of a woman. When you know this, you will know what it means to be complete. We must balance those qualities within each and every one of us. We have the right brain and the left brain. You got the conscious and the subconscious, and they work together. And once we complete, then we know what to be complete. Right? When you to know that within a man there's a woman, within the woman there is a man, energy-wise. Right? Okay. So the law of attraction. Now listen to this. This is what brings them together. The law of attraction. The law of attraction as part of the equation. You will notice that the law of attraction is not specifically mentioned as one of the 7 universal laws. The law of attraction is not one of the 7 laws. This is not to diminish its importance, but rather to highlight it. Because the law of attraction is the basic law of the universe, which runs through all the 7 universal laws discussed here. Our own Fahmi Rasul is telling us the law of attraction is what holds everything together. It holds everything together. It is through the knowledge of the law of attraction that one can rise above the mutable laws of polarity and rhythm and gain a better understanding of each of the 7 universal laws. Right? Then the Fahmi is quoting from the book, the Kabbalion. The principles of the truth are 7. He who knows this understandingly possesses the magic key before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open. Okay? That's a quote from the Kabbalion, the Hermetic laws, right? So at the end, we conclude that it says there are 7 major universal laws by which the entire universe is governed. 3 are immutable, internal laws, and 4 are mutable laws. That is the greatest revelation from our Fahmi Rasul to the sons and daughters of the sun. Okay? The universe exists by virtue of these laws, which form its framework and which hold it together. So the universe is held together by these 7 universal laws. Okay? Knowing these universal laws and the basic law of attraction, which makes it the 8th. Okay? And learning how to transcend the mutable laws. You have to learn how to transcend the mutable laws is fundamental to changing the circumstances of your life so that you can consciously create your intended reality and achieve true mastery. Salam. Okay? So Fahmi, I'll make a copy of for you this paper and give to each and every one of us so we can study it daily and try to master the 7 universal laws, right? And even in our gospel, where the Holy Fahmi is saying, one religion fight other religions, you see? They're angels. Yeah, they are in conflict, you know? But through this spiritual laws, we can make all of them come together, you see? Through the spiritual laws, especially with these 7 spiritual laws, when we apply it and live, then we can bring all of them under this, and this is what they are missing, that they're missing those spiritual laws. And that's why one is fighting the other, who they do not understand, and they don't have the spiritual laws. We have this, once we are Fahmis, we are given this law. With this spiritual law, we can bring all of them into understanding and into harmony. Alright? So with that, one second, I think I will share this with you. This is from one lesson from the High Priest Mutaba's lesson he gave to his 2010. So I just want to share that with you and we're going to end. Law is the fundamental principle, rule or regulation governing the operation of any particular function or thing. The science of our ancestors and our new culture, Fahmi, teaches of the law. Those are the law that I mentioned in our manual 1 to 7 I just shared with you. which signifies that there is but one overarching law, and that law operates and controls all of creation. This law guides the unfoldment of the multitude of thoughts in the brain of creation and harmony with each other. Harmony is the great operating principle of the universe. The universe is continually unfolding, evolving, and making itself known on new and higher levels of existence or experience. The ancient Kemites, our noble ancestors, are the only people to have learned that law and have employed it perfectly. Okay? And he will tell us, and they build the God Ptah standing on that law. The God Ptah standing on that law of Maya, or that law. So our ancestors lived by this law of 7 laws, and they were able to create and manifest the best civilization the world has ever seen. Alright? And I will end with this. The first adherent to the law of the universe is the lawgiver, the lawmaker, the law designer, and the law provider. The great lawgiver cannot violate the law because he cannot violate himself.
Okay.
If the lawgiver could not violate or break the law, if the lawgiver could violate or break the law, all harmony will be destroyed. To maintain the harmony which is essential in our life, the Bahami Gospel teaches us that, and quote, every man who is a son of the sun or a son of man knows that he does not have to make trouble. He can change his tactics, or he can change gods, or he can change his politics, culture, philosophy, religion completely, and also change his language. The Holy Bahami Gospel 1:10. That is, and I will end with this, he can move to the basis provisions of a higher law and maintain harmony. Okay? And maintain, we can move into the higher law and maintain harmony. We don't have to make trouble. All we have to do is to switch a law and maintain harmony with that. Okay, with that, family, I want to thank you. And salam ya Akbar. Family,